Good afternoon. It is Friday afternoon, September 11th. A very somber day, but we're going to try and give you some information here that we think is valuable, can be valuable to you in your sign business. So, what this one is going to be about is we're not going to really do a demo. Well, it is kind of a demo, but I get questions on a regular basis about special shapes that I do, and I've just printed out some pictures here of different shapes. Is this going to work all right for you, Dan?
Yeah.
So these are just different shaped signs that I've done. I've got a lot more. That one, by the way, don't ever do one like that. This tail was so weak, it just freaked me out the whole time. That one was a pain. But anyway, so I've got all these different shapes of signs that I've done, and this is about, I don't know, this is only a few of them. Obviously I've done, probably 10 times this many special shapes and stuff. But, so the way I go about it when I get orders for, that's Iowa, by the way, and the shapes of states sometimes can be a really good deal for you. So I want to kind of take you through the process of what I do when I get a special, when somebody wants a special shape, and how I go about making it. I'm not going to make one, but I'm going to show you how I go about doing it. So let's say, for instance, somebody says that I want a special shaped sign that's something that you don't have. Which now I have so many that doesn't come up a lot, but they want a special shape. Like, for instance, let me find that one. I'm kind of rambling here, guys. Sorry about that. This one here. This was done for a police officer, and they needed a couple of these for it was going to be a charity function, and they were going to auction these off, which I think they ended up getting, gosh, like a couple $100 a piece for them. So it worked out really well. And this one was really fun to do. It's very seldom that I do one that has, this is, I don't know if you can tell, but this is my background texture all the way around the outside. And I really like the way it came out. I was really happy with it. But anyway, so he sent me the artwork on this and said, can you make this? And I said, yeah, I can make it. So he sent me the artwork and said, this is what size I wanted it. So on this particular one, he sent me the shape. And what I did was I took the shape and I went down to Staples and I had them blow it up for me to scale. They had them blow it up, and then I just used spray adhesive and stuck it right on a piece of MDF board, and then that was my pattern. And then
that's the actual size of the sign right there.
Yeah, it is 17 across. So I stuck it on there, and then I just bandsawed it out, and then from that point, then I would take and I would cut it out with the router like we cut our shapes right now, our live to rides and our banners and all that. So that's how I went about this one. He made it kind of easy for me. So, but if for instance you have a guy that just says, okay, I want the shape of Texas, let's say, can you do that? Absolutely, I can do that. So we figure out what size it has to be in order to fit the wording that they want on there. I don't have a picture of that Texas sign, but it was fairly small, but this is the Texas shape that I made. So you can tell I literally just scroll sawed it out. I blew it up to the size it needed to be. I cut it out with scissors, stuck it on the board, and then I scroll sawed it out, and then I used this with my template guides, and then I cut my shape out of that. But going forward, I'll always have this Texas shape if somebody else wants a Texas sign. That was the other part, is that if you're going to make a shaped sign, guys, take the time, take the extra 15-20 minutes and make a pattern. So that, and I've got so many different patterns that I've made over the years that now when I show my portfolio that has this sign in it, and they see this kinds of signs and they like that shape, oh, I like that shape, your work is already done because you got a pattern on it. Okay, so that's what I would suggest, is always take the extra time to make the pattern, so then you can show those signs as part of your portfolio and you can always make them. Now, let's say for instance somebody says, well, I want a shape but I don't know really what shape I want. So go to Google, type in sign shapes, and you'll come up with about 1 billion of these. So you just pick out the one that you like. Then from there, you can do it, take it to Staples and have them blow it up for you if you can't do it. Or if you're going to do it yourself, here's how I go about it. Like for instance, let's say I'm going to do an oval, okay? And an oval makes it pretty simple, an oval or a round, which is, now I'm going to show you. What you do is you go down, and again, this is what I do, guys. You may have a better way to do this, but I do it kind of the old-fashioned way. I just got some grid paper. I think these are like 1-inch squares, 1 inch or 3/4 inch squares.
Half-inch.
Well, whatever they are. And then I just took a piece off of here so I can give you an idea. So then what you do is you've got your grid, and let's say it's going to be the oval, right? So then you just basically, if you, whatever length that oval is going to be, I think that one's about, what is that, about 18? No, that's 24. So if it's 24, then I would say, okay, so I need to have 12 and 12. So I fold it in the center. I'm just doing this really rough, guys, but you want to have all your lines straight, but I don't want to, you know, take forever here. So I know I'm gonna measure over 12. So that's going to be the end, because it's going to unfold. And then an oval, because it is all 4 quarters is the same, then I would fold it again. You guys know this deal from making paper dolls. Or maybe you guys don't, but you gals do. But it's the same idea. So then what I would do is I would just draw that wherever my parameters are. If I wanted it 8-9 inches wide, I would just draw that, cut it out, then you have, and unfold it, and you have your shape. So if you're just doing one that is different at the top and the bottom, then you just do it, you know, 2 ways. So you would draw it, let's say for instance, if we were going to do that one, I would literally just take and I would start drawing where I wanted it, so that when it opens up, it was the size that I want. And then once you got your paper pattern, you take and you transfer that over to your MDF or whatever you're going to cut your cutting pattern out of, and then glue it on the board, and you know, and then just go from there. And that's how I made all these different patterns. I know I'm just kind of being spastic here, Dad, but that's how I made all these different patterns. That is the one that said, what did that say? Like the fat cat. It had the little kitty. Oh no, it didn't have the kitty cat on it. It had the, yeah, that's the pattern for this one. So, and I did that exactly like what I just told you guys. I just put it on there. Now in this particular instance, I don't think I glued it down. I just taped it down and then I sprayed it with ink. So it gave me a black line to go by. So you can do it that way too. If you don't want to use spray adhesive, you can just tape it down. Here's another, now here's one that I did. Originally I did this size. This is a pattern that I made. And it was for one of these signs. The wind's starting to blow. Let me get these papers out of the way. So, and then I had somebody else that saw that sign and said, wow, I really like that, but I want it bigger. So I made a bigger pattern. Basically the same thing, just a bigger version. But again, I did it just the way that one is. Then somebody else came by or saw those 2 signs and say, well, I really like that, but I want a bigger one. So there's a pattern there behind you, Dad. You want to hand that to me? Hopefully not hit the camera. There we go. Got it. So this is the bigger version. So I don't know how much you can see.
Yeah, I
can you see it all?
Yeah.
So again, when somebody else wants this, then I've got the patterns. So it's the hardest part's already done. Now, when I quote this, when you're probably wondering what I charge when I quote this. Well, it's not that I don't, when I first have a first shape that somebody wants that's special, then I charge them a pattern charge. I know I'm going to have maybe 1 hour to 2 hours in making a pattern. So sometimes that'll be a $50 pattern charge if it's something that I don't already have. So, and they're fine with that. Sorry, I'm wiping the sweat. It's a little warm today. We're not filming as early as we normally do. But anyway, now I'm dripping. So anyway, so yeah, I absolutely charge them a pattern charge. Maybe 40, 50 bucks, whatever it's going to be. And then, of course, the artwork, if there's artwork, the charge of the sign, all of that stuff. So Dad's getting me a rag to wipe with. Thanks, Dad. Appreciate that. All right. Let's keep from sweating on the sign, on the patterns. So what am I forgetting, Dad? Did I cover just about, I think that was...
Yeah,
that's pretty
everything
much it.
except this is not something that we do for customers.
Yeah, this is instructional only, guys. I'm not here to tell you that we make special patterns, because I only make special patterns for signs that I need to do. I'm just trying to give you an idea of my mindset when somebody wants something special. This is the process I kind of go through. And again, it's kind of old-fashioned, but it's kind of the way that I do it. You guys might have a lot better way to do it. You know, we used to use, in some cases, one of those opaque projectors that would and project it up on the wall and then draw it out, kind of like with what they used to have at bowling alleys, that kind of thing. You know, make your transparency and do it that way. That's another way you can do it. I find this a little bit easier, a little less cumbersome, but you know, there's any number of different ways you can do it. This is the way that I find works the best for me. So we're real excited about tomorrow morning is the LTS. So if you guys haven't got an invite and haven't registered, that's the big thing. If you haven't registered yet, go on and register. There's only, I think there's only about 4 or 5 slots left. So 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, Arizona time, for wherever you're at. We'll be doing it, and I got really a cool demo planned for you. Actually, Dad's going to do a demo, and then I'm going to come on and do mine, and then questions and answers at the end. So if you have questions, start getting them together, because we're going to probably, like we did last time, probably the last 20 minutes is going to be question and answer. So we're excited. We're going to have a bunch of people, a lot more people on this one than we did last time. So get those questions in, and we will see you tomorrow morning. Have a great night, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye.